Hi, I'm Michael from Argon Studios. Internet Computer is a great network that natively supports idempotent HTTPS outcalls, but integrating, configuring, and maintaining them can be a complex process that's only supported by up-to-date canisters. As a workaround, in the past, you may have chosen to deploy the outcall canister yourself, separately as your own internet gateway. With the release of Argon's IC Internet Gateway, that is a thing of the past. For most modern dApps, the ability to get the most out of IC and interact with Web2 endpoints is a must. Whether to get information such as stock or coin prices, or a list of jobs on a job board, or run a post to affect a Web2 app state, like calling an endpoint that RPCs to an EVM chain and runs a liquidation on a position, or registering a user to a Web2 service. The possibilities are endless, and we are taking the configuration out of the process. Before, you had to manually configure specific URLs and fields within each canister you deployed, as well as manage the idempotent API and response management to make it outcall compliant. Now, you can spin up internet gateways to Web2 APIs simply via our GUI for free. We've managed to bring down your deployment costs by creating our IC Internet Gateway, where you can spin up your gateway without deploying it yourself, or manage the ins and outs of outcalls. Simply pay a nominal fee to run the IC Internet Gateway when you need it. Don't use it, don't pay. Internet Computer, with its native HTTPS outcall functionality, is a prime candidate for this simple to use and cost-effective solution. And with the work to integrate with other chains, this can become a central utility for any chain to make calls to the Web2 world, or even cross-chain in the future. So, create your first gateway today and integrate your dApp with Web2 apps. Here's Miguel with the demo.
Hey guys, so here's a quick demo on how the Argon Oracle service works. First of all, we need to log in with our internet identity. Okay, so now we're logged in. Here is going to be displayed the oracles that we create. First, to show an example, I'm going to start by creating an oracle that makes a GET request to the Rick and Morty API. In this case, the response for that request looks like this. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we go to create new request, and now we have a few fields that we need to fill. For example, the URL that we're going to hit. In this case, it's going to be wicandmori.com-api/character/1. We specified that it's a get method, and we also need to specify the headers we need to include whenever we actually make the request. So in this case, it's going to be the content type. So we create the oracle, we refresh the page, and now we can see that our oracle has been created. So to actually make the request to this oracle, we need to call the canister make request method. So I'm going to show you how to do that. VFX canister. We have to specify the wallet that we're going to make the payment from. In this case, it's going to be wallet. Get wallet. Call. We need to also add a payment for the request with cycles. So we call the oracle and we specify the make request method. So now we have to provide 3 fields for this make request method. The first one is going to be the oracle's ID, which would be this one. Then we need to specify the headers that we included in the request when we created it. So in this case, it's going to be a JSON, a stringified JSON, for example. In this case, we we said that we needed a content type header, which in this case is going to be application slash JSON. And we can also include a body to make the request, which in this case is going to be null since it's a get request. So I think we're ready to go. Let's see. So now you can see how we got the request. We successfully got the response for the get request to the API. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to create a post request. We go to creating request, and for this example, I'm going to use the Couriers API, and we're going to send an email through the Couriers API. So in this case, the endpoint for that API looks like this. We also need to specify that it's a post method, and we need to include the headers needed for the requests. In this case, the content type, and we also need to provide an authorization header. Create the Oracle. We refresh the page, and now we can see how it was successfully created. So we're going to grab this Oracle ID in order to make the request. So the method is the same as the previous one. We also need to provide the cycles to make the payment. In this case, the ID is going to be the one we grabbed. Then we need to specify the headers we're going to include in the request. In this case, it was content type, application slash JSON, the authorization header. So in this case, I also need to provide the API key. And now we can also we're also going to need to add the requests body. So in this case, the body for these requests looks like this. Message field. We're going to need the to field. In this case, I'm going to be sending the email to myself. And now we can specify the content of the email. Title is going to be test. And the body is going to be also test. So now we're ready to send a notification. I copied the wrong ID. So in this case, I need to specify the right ID, which is going to be So as you can see, we got the email successfully.